Hi everybody, it's Richard here again, and welcome to my response to Jeff at Calicosilver, his 12 questions that he set out a couple of nights ago, and I thought they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant, so I am definitely having a go at this. Now, the first question is, when a musical hero dies, do you avoid listening to their music for a while? Well, okay, I'm going to talk about this guy here, David Bowie, so this might go on a bit. Some of these questions I'll answer with a yes or no, but this first one I'll talk about it. I found out that David Bowie had passed whenever I was it was the Monday morning, and I was heading over to Aberdeen. No, I wasn't. I was heading over to Edinburgh to a fish factory. Yes, I worked for, at that time, a cleaning company, and we were contracted for various factories throughout Northern Ireland and some in the UK and in Scotland, and I don't think we had any in Wales, and we had one in Dublin as well. And I got a phone call, and I was in the smoke hut at Belfast International Airport. Yes, I did smoke, but I have been off the fags, or sorry, cigarettes, for 3 years this month actually, so go me, I'm telling you, I've done it. So anyway, I got the call, and it was the girlfriend saying David Bowie had died, and the first thing I said, well, check to see if it's actually true, if it's not fake, because the amount of times I've heard that Rowan Atkinson had died is ridiculous. So she looked up the news, and then she says, yeah, it seems to be he had died. So anyway, I went over to Edinburgh. We got in the taxi, and all you heard from the taxi to the factory was David Bowie songs. Now, I was stunned, I really was, absolutely stunned, and it was the longest day ever, and because I had to look through a lot of their paperwork, which was, well, I won't go into that, but I kept getting these messages on Facebook saying sorry for your loss. as if David Bowie was a relative of mine. But even girlfriends from the 1980s were sending me messages. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, I got through the day and I went back to the hotel. Well, call it a hotel, it was one of those travel lodges, and just as normal, as you get in the door you slump on the bed. Then it hit me, and I cried my eyes out for a good 10 minutes. But I had no Bowie music on my phone at that time, and I was coming back home, I think it was 2 days later, and whenever I got home I had an assignment to go down to Dublin, so I put a lot of Bowie music on my phone, something like about 180 songs, and I played Bowie the whole way down to Dublin and the whole way back. Now, considering Dublin's about 2.5 to 3 hour drive there, so we're talking about 5 to 6 hours. That's all I played. Yeah, so I played Bowie music. The only songs I was struggling with was Lazarus and Black Star. And I keep saying to myself, how the heck did I not know he was ill? Because he looked ill in those videos, so why did nobody pick up that he was ill? But nobody did. But anyway, so the answer to that question is yes, I do, and I did. And it's the same when Freddie Mercury died. I played quite a bit of Queen after he died as well. Okay, do you wince? The second question, do you wince when a band does a tribute album? Not really, don't care, it depends who it is. I won't buy it unless it's an artist I like. For example, I really do like Brian Ferry's Dylan-esque album, and I really do like Joan Baez's Any Day Now album, all Bob Dylan songs. But say for example, I'm a huge ABBA fan, but Cher did an album of all ABBA covers, and Johnny, the record store owner, was trying to flog me this, even put it down to a £5 for the vinyl, and I still wouldn't buy it. So it doesn't bother me at all whether they do or not. I don't wince, I don't care. You know, if, as I say, if it's an artist I like, I will listen to it, but if it's an artist I don't like, no hope. Okay, do you like classical versions of your favourite albums? I have never actually heard classical versions of any of my favourite albums apart from one, and that's the Orchestral Tubular Bells, and I know Mike Oldfield had quite a bit to do with it, but yeah, not really. I've got an album called Classic Rock where there's orchestral versions of songs like Life on Mars, Whiter Shade of Pale, Bohemian Rhapsody. I bought that as a tape way back when it was released in about 77, 78, and I recently bought the album just so I could remind myself of it, but I played it once, I'll never play it again. So I don't care. I just don't care whether there's classical versions or not. I will say though that Philip Glass did a version of Low and a version of Heroes, and I've got that in MP3 and I've never listened to it, so that more or less answers your question. Okay, should bands with replacement frontmen still be called the same band? Oh, that's the most difficult one, because some bands actually really do work. For example, Peter Gabriel left from Genesis and Phil Collins took over, and the next 3-4 albums are my favourite Genesis albums. So in that case, yes. But Noddy and Jim left out of Slade and Slade carried on, so I say no. So it really depends. Like, there is a group going around called T-Rex, and they feature a guy called Paul Fenton, and he drummed on 2 T-Rex songs in 1974, and that was it. And he's got the name T-Rex, so in that case, no. It's the same with Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac had about 3 different full lineups. They had the Peter Green years, they had the Bob Welch years, and then the Buckingham Nicks years. And then they also had, after Buckingham Nicks left, or Buckingham left, they brought in Rick Vito or Zito or whatever you call him, and this other guy, I can't remember his name. So yeah, I don't know, it depends, it really does depend. So I can't really answer that. Okay, do you ever listen to the bonus tracks? Yes, I do. Okay, yes, I do. I don't like demos. I can't be bothered with them. So, for example, I would never buy one of those big Beatles boxes which has got 2 CDs of demos. Can't be bothered with them at all. But outtakes, different songs, yes, love to hear them. Should box sets have individual albums so that, you know, albums are not overlapping? Yes, most definitely. And I was trying to find the Jam box set I have. Is it Direction, Reaction, Creation? I probably got those words in the wrong order. And it was one of the very first CD box sets I bought, and I thought, right, yes, I've got all the Jam stuff on CD. I don't have to buy their individual albums. And then when In the City and This Is the Modern World, you know, were on the same disc, and then part of This Is the Modern World was in the next disc, it annoyed me. So I ended up, after all, buying all the individual, there's 2 of them, Jam CDs. So I hate that, I really do. I like albums, as Jeff said, 1 CD per album, and any bonus tracks, stick them all on an extra CD. Okay, do you hesitate reading heroes' autobiographies in fear of losing respect? No, because I don't read autobiographies. I would be more into facts about albums being made, so I love books about sessions and all the rest of it, and even reviews of albums. I don't care what a certain artist, how their childhood was and all the rest of it. The only autobiography I've read, I think, is Adam Ant's, and I just thought it was boring. So no, I like about the music and only the music. I also love stats. I love chart statistics and all that. I sit there all day and read that. Do you act as an apologist for Heroes music when it's not that great? Yes. I try not to, but yes, especially in the 80s. I used to rave on about the Style Council, how great they were. I couldn't stand them. I loved their singles, their albums were crap. And I used to say, oh well, it's actually very, very good, you know, if you listen to it. Funny enough, the Style Council's albums I do actually quite like now, but back then I kidded myself that I liked them. But say, for example, David Bowie again, I'll tell you which is his worst album, and I'll tell you if a song's rubbish. For example, New York's in Love from the Never Let Me Down is atrocious. Well, I will tell the truth now. Okay, do you feel silly being an obsessive collector of stuff that I'll never listen to? Yes, but it's like a drug, and it's not just having all these nice things, and you open them up, you get this thrill, you file it away. But if you hadn't it filed away, there would always be something in your mind saying you want it, you want it, you want it, you want it. So it is just a drug, really. And it is collecting. I suppose it's like collecting anything. So I'm not overly obsessive about collecting various issues, and this is a first pressing, second pressing, third pressing, and all the rest. Although I'm a wee bit dodgy about labels, especially with Bowie. I hate the green RCA International labels. I'm not keen on the black RCA labels, and if it is available on the orange RCA Victor label, I will buy it and I will look for it, and I've done that. Okay, do I ever get tired of listening to music? I get tired of sticking a record on, but I will always play a bit of music here and there. And if I can't be bothered listening to music in the house, the best cure for me is to get out in the car, go for a drive, and the music will play. So the answer is yes in the house, no for the car. Do you hate when a commentator leaves a comment on your channel when it's clear they haven't actually watched the video? I don't think it's actually happened to me. The only times it's ever happened is those spam comments, which is great video, you deserve more subs and all that, and they were rife about 3 months ago, but for some reason they've stopped now, which is great. But no, it doesn't bother me. What does bother me is if I make a comment and the person who's made the video replies, and they use one of those little template answers like yes thanks or great idea, you know, because I've seen those, and I thought, well, at least you could have written in something yourself, and the way to do that is to put your name. So, and rather than yes thanks Richard, that would tell me that they actually wrote that themselves. Okay, and do you ever feel like quitting YouTube? Yes, plenty of times. Big style about 3-4 months ago. At the start of lockdown I was making videos, oh god, every day, and two reasons I feel like it. One, if I feel as if I'm repeating myself all the time, that's when I'm going to stop. And there was one time, what stopped me actually, put it this way, whenever you make a video, it is like a rush. It's like a sugar rush or a drug rush. But that there rush soon ends after about 2 hours after posting. But I got a comment, I'm not going to say who it was, and this person said, I really like your videos and they've helped me during this time of lockdown, and I really look forward to your videos. And that took me from a low level of making videos to high up, and I thought, yes, that's probably one of the nicest comments I ever had. As I say, I'm not going to say who it is, but I think the person knows. So yes, at times I do, but whenever I do, I try to give it a few days break. What I intend to do now is whenever I do make videos, I try to make them in a bit of a block. So I maybe make 2 or 3 videos a day. I've changed shirt, like you can't wear the same shirt for each video, and I'll upload them and I'll keep them private, and then I will make them public maybe 2, 3, 4 days apart. Okay, that's my reply to Jeff's fantastic 12 questions. Love it, absolutely loved it, and I hope to have another video quite soon, although I have to start thinking what am I going to do now, because I've run out of videos on private. So anyway, as I say, hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.